same shirt, 3 videos, one day. I said I would get caught up. This video is going to be for September 1st, but while I'm on a roll, it takes so long to upload these things, I figured I would just knock them out and get ahead of the game a little bit. Since I'm going to be away that week, I want, you know, I'm going to go sailing, so I want to have everything done and ready for you folks. The subject this week is going to be, would you date another trans person? And I know this will be controversial because I know some of our members are currently doing that. And I'm going to share my personal experience on that and what I've seen for myself and what I've seen happen with other people. I would date another trans person, and I have dated another trans person, but I'm going to say that with some disclaimers. And the reason for that is, depending on, you know, where you are in your transition, it changes. And you know, when Jane was here, we talked about that it's different post-operatively than it is pre-op. And you know, you're going through so much that you can't possibly focus on a relationship doing it successfully when you're in the middle of a transition, depending on and that, you know, wherever your end point is in that physical transition, with or without surgery, you're going through a lot. And to throw a relationship, another fun, loving, but stressful relationship potential into a transition is foolish if you're doing it while you're in the middle of that shift. Now, I did say that I would date somebody, and you know, there's been some trans men that I found handsome and continue to find handsome, and there's been some trans women that I find, you know, beautiful, and I am not at that point in my life now where I want a relationship, because I enjoy my freedom and coming and going as I please and doing the things I want without answering to anybody else. And that's kind of selfish, but you know, my kids are grown and I've paid my dues and I want to do what I want to do. It's my time. I think that's the name of that group, isn't it? Our Time or some bullshit like that. So I'm kind of selfish with my time and doing, you know, filling it around my needs and no one else's at this point. Now, I did date a trans girl named Billy, and she was this Dutch-German girl with the freckles. She was gorgeous. She was beautiful, and I hope that she's well today, because she really was a good person. But with everything that was going on, she was in transition, I was in transition, and you know, we did the casual live together thing, and I still had my home. You know, I was down in her place, and there was so much going on with surgeries and transition and my family and my job and all these things that were like the focal point of me maintaining my, you know, my employment and sanity and taking care of my immediate family, that it made the relationship stressful. You know, she was a lesbian and I'm bisexual, and when I had my bottom surgery, she told me it was okay for me to try it out once. Well, new toy once? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to be promiscuous, damn it. But at any rate, I didn't want to be in a relationship where I was controlled anymore. And she had just as many, issues herself with going on in her life. So take two of us with this major life change and shift going on, and then have a relationship in the middle of it. It was stupid. It wasn't dumb. It was ignorant, stupid. And and my counselor, my therapist was like, yeah, maybe, she's nice, but maybe, maybe you want to look at that. She wouldn't tell me not to do it, but, it was definitely something that I should have stayed away from. And because it added something down the road that I had to deal with again anyway. So, and as I, transitioned and paid for my surgeries and my hormones and my doctor visits and my therapy and my facial surgery and my bottom surgery that was coming, I didn't have time for that in there. I just, to have to take care of somebody else that, didn't really have the game plan of how they were going to do this. So, I'm fumbling through it with as much help as I can, and she was just kind of doing, well, what will happen attitude. And I took transition very, very serious, and she didn't, and I just couldn't do that anymore. So, and then when I, like I told Jane afterwards, it changes because, post-op and down the road it changed. Your chemical shifts continue to change, and you see things differently. You continue to change. We talked about transition in that video, and life. Transition is lifelong. I believe that, but the period of time that you go through with, a gender shift portion of this transition is serious shit, and a lot changes, and you're forever changed, and you see things different. I see things with different eyes now than I did back when I started this journey. I've gone back and I've looked at some pictures from 10 years ago, and I giggle and say, that's not me, because I was in a different place. So, to be in a relationship, and if you're in one, God bless you. I seriously wish you all of the best of luck, and that everything works out, the way you want. But also warn you that the reality is that a lot of shit changes, and living with somebody when everything's quote quote normal, living with somebody is difficult. and it's a lot of work. Doing it through the middle of a transition is insane. It's insane. So I would suggest, just suggestions, are not orders. For me, I found this out the hard way because I didn't listen, because I was euphoric. Life was good, man. I was going on. But I would suggest that if you are going through transition, especially the very active point in time, go out and have a good time with friends. You get somebody close that you want to have a fling with, go ahead, but don't get too deep in, because chances of it surviving are pretty slim. And when you're post-op, like I told Jane, it's all different. And she didn't listen to me, and you won't either. but I got to say I told you so, and it's all good. So if you are thinking about transition, I would think about letting your sexuality and your relationship status kind of just go into a whole pattern for a while. And enjoy life, enjoy the transition, because it goes away, and in time we forget all that, the feelings of the freshness of it and how much fun it was, and even though it's stressful, it is a wonderful time, you know, exploring yourself and finding this new person that was hidden just under the surface. So have a great week, and Labor Day I know is right around the corner here, so enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.